in a few days. Got all this sorted out. Got my corner in here all plated up. The big patch through there. That patch. There's still one more to go up through here, but I'm going to handle that from the inside. So this guy is pretty much well off for now. I've got some work to do back there eventually, but I went ahead and moved on to the inside. And these are definitely 10-foot welds, but I'm getting there. Got the front corner where the pinch weld is to lift the car started. The hole that was up there, got that patched. Got this guy patched. I actually had to cut out a big section right through there to that was so rusty I couldn't even weld to it, and that's basically like a frame rail. So I used some half-inch square tube and basically built two rails, welded them on the front and the rear, and then welded this new sheet metal to that. And then along here I connected it to the structural mounting point where the suspension bolts up, so all that's tied together. And then from underneath I still have to get under there and drop a few tacks on the sheet metal to that structural member that crosses. But I drilled some holes in the top here and tied that in there. Did the same thing over here, drilled a couple holes just to tie all the layers of sheet metal together, and basically just beat the shit out of that metal until it took its shape. But it's coming along. My next big panel is there, but I can't really address that. At least I don't want to address that until I get the new rocker panel in, because I'm going to have to build all this section to meet the pinch weld of the rocker panel. But once I get that rocker panel in, I'll be able to address all of this nastiness all the way down. Yeah, good stuff. Let's get back to it. Alright, so I got the rocker panels in. And when you throw this guy up here, you have to take the door off to physically fit this thing completely on. I don't want to take the door off, and I really don't want to mess with all the good steel through here, so I'm just going to find a good line through here that's good solid metal and cut both of the existing rocker and the new rocker, and just graft the bottom point or bottom part on there. That way I don't have to mess with any of that, and I'll be making some good headway. So I got the rocker panel mocked up. I left a little lip on the body side, so that way I can go with a body hammer and basically curl it over, so when I push the new panel up to it and stitch weld it, I can go back in later, after cleaning up the welds obviously, and use Bondo and body filler to smooth that joint out instead of trying to butt weld it, because I frankly don't have enough skills in sheet metal welding to do that. But a big part of getting this outer part mocked up was in through here. Behind this piece of metal there's another strip of metal that runs all the way down the rocker, and that ties the outside to the inside with that piece of structure. And then that, if I remember correctly, had some kind of connection to this thing. I don't really remember. I think it just rolled up the floor pan, but there may have been a third piece of steel in there. Most of that was gone anyway when I started. But like I said, having this up here lets me get a feel for where all that goes, and then once that's all together, this will actually sit up a little bit higher where it's supposed to sit, and then I can finally finish up the floor pan. And I'm going to reinforce sheet metal in this area where that pinch weld is that you typically jack up the car with, or at, and hopefully that will give some structure there, and I'll be able to use that as a jack point again. So, work continues. So I got the new rocker prepped. I put holes along the bottom to act as like a spot weld. These I added plates in here to reinforce the jack point back here, so this is pretty solid. Did the same at the front, and that's gonna let me weld this panel directly to those plates, those reinforcement plates. And then along the bottom here, I've got all these holes, and that's going to tie into a piece of sheet metal that goes straight up into the inside of the rocker on the inside of the car. So that will basically box that in and tie all that stuff together. Let's get started. Now that I've got those stitch welds all the way across, I got some tacks through here. I can go ahead and prep this up with the body hammers and then buzzer in. Got the rocker buzzed in. Got all the spot welds in the back done. All spot welds in the front done. And I've got the stitch welding going along the seam there. And I'm pretty happy with it. There's pretty good evidence of penetration into the metals. You can see like the heat marks around the weld, so that's a good sign. The next step is to work on connecting these two pieces. That should be pretty straightforward. Once I plate all that up, all the way up, then I can do that final little bit to finish off the floor here. Let's crack into it.